Hey everybody, what's up? How's it going? My name is Sean. Thanks for being here. Man, these are just crazy times. It's been an insane March so far. It's been an insane 2020 so far, and you've seen the tweets, you've seen the posts from famous people ranting about the cancellation of the NBA season and everything else. It's bigger than basketball. It's bigger than sports. It's about humanity, and it's been a crazy 2020, and some people just want to cancel 2020 altogether. It's just been wild, right? And now is the time more than ever to be united, I guess, right? And to practice discipline. And specific to us here in the Philippines, we're under this community quarantine, lockdown, whatever you want to call it. It calls for discipline. It also calls for us to be critically responsible. If something's not working, let the authorities know, because that's how we get better. That's how we correct mistakes. So speak out responsibly and direct it to the correct channels. Anyway, this whole situation has been bad for business, any business, and that includes sneakers. We're in this crazy global pandemic, but it doesn't mean that, we can't talk about sneakers. We can't talk about the things that we love. And if anything, it is encouraged to just to promote normalcy and just to keep your sanity, right? Do the things that you love responsibly, all right? Stay home. Again, I can't stress this enough. My mindset is this, in this whole madness here. If you do not have the virus, keep it that way by not going around. Right? You get the idea, right? It's simple. Don't go around. We can slow the spread. We can, the idea is to flatten the curve. You've seen the graphs. You probably have. Don't spread the virus by not moving around. The virus does not have arms and legs. They don't walk. They don't run. But people do. Right? You get the idea. Let's talk about the sneakers that we are not getting to see this March. It's not the biggest problem in the world, but I think it's still fun to talk about, all right? We're going to talk about a few Jordans that are going to be pushed out, whose release dates are going to be pushed out to April, all right? Let's do this. And our first Air Jordan here is the Air Jordan 5 Fire Red. One of the most famous Air Jordans ever, not just a famous Jordan 5. This is one of the most famous Air Jordans in all of the Air Jordans, right? Fire Red, it's as OG can get. This originally came out in 1990, and I remember the sneaker. I was young, and I won't tell you how old I was, right? But I was pretty young, and the Air Jordan 5 Fire Red was one of the first few Jordans that really, I would say, got me into sneakers. Not really buying them, but it really got me interested in Michael Jordan, the basketball player, and his shoe line, right? One of the first sneakers that really got me into sneakers was the Air Jordan 4, right? So this came out a year after, and I said, wow, does this thing get better and better? I can't wait for the 6 and 7 and 8 and so on and so forth. I saw this on one of my classmates, and I was just salivating. I was jealous. I was wearing old Pumas at the time. I was wearing my mom's old Pumas. These were just expensive. I don't recall how much, but these are one of the first few sneakers to cost 4,000 pesos up when they came out, right? If you're an old head like me, correct me if my price point is wrong, but these were expensive, right? They're scheduled for a late March release, but they're pushing it out to April. It looks like we're gonna see this in April. Let me see if we have a date here. By the way, my info is from different sources, but this is specifically from Kicks on Fire, so shout out to you guys. April 25th. All right, this will be $200. It's not gonna be cheap. Are these gonna hit the outlets? It's an OG Air Jordan, but you know how Jordans, how retro Jordans, even if they're OG colors, you know how they've behaved lately. They do hit the outlets. The clamor for Jordans has, it's mellowed. People are not as hot for OG Jordans as they were a couple of years ago, right? But it's a sneaker that we all definitely have to look out for. They're pushing it out to April 25th, $200. Watch out. The next sneaker here, the next Jordan here is the Air Jordan 6 DMP. DMP stands for Defining Moments Pack, right? Because when this came out this originally came out in 2006, this black and gold Air Jordan, it came as a pack, which celebrates Michael Jordan's first championship. It's a pack. It came with the Air Jordan 11, and I remember this time. I've been a sneakerhead forever, right? But 2006, mid 2000s was my one of the craziest points in my being a sneakerhead, where I would just buy and buy and buy. And I didn't buy this because Jordans at the time, early 2000s to mid 2000s, the quality was just non-existent. They were crap, and people would call it worse things, but the quality was just not there. Glue stains, imperfections in how they cut the leather, and everything else that you can imagine that would make these Jordans absolute. I would just stay away from them. Whenever they came out with retro Jordans in this time period, I just knew that it would be ugly. And probably one of the ugliest releases at the time was the DMP, right? The 6 and the 11. Man, I remember those 11s. That anyway. But Jordan these days, I'm talking about today, and in the coming weeks when these are to be released, they've become better. Jordan brand had listened to us, and haven't you noticed the trend these days? They try to make retros. They try to replicate how they really looked when they first came out, including toe box height, the Nike Air in the back, even materials used. So this is something that we can get excited about, because it's a nice black and gold color blocking here, but they're pushing it out, and I'm talking about the global release, because you know what? If you're from the Philippines, if you're from Manila, you're gonna see these in the walls in sneaker shops, and they're just sitting. So if you happen to like the DMP, if you're a fan of from when these came out, and you feel that you have to have a pair, go pick up your pair. But the situation might be different, because there's mall restrictions these days. But if you can buy them online, definitely go check them out. I've spent too much time on this DMP pack. Let's move on. Our next Air Jordan here is one that I absolutely love. Nostalgic pair, takes me back. It's a feel-good sneaker. It is the Air Jordan 13 Flint, right? This is your blue and white and gray Air Jordan 13, and the Flint, of course, refers to the Flint gray, right? There's Flint gray on the heel, and on the side panel that's close to the midsole, and there's hits of gray on the midsole as well. I love this colorway. Why is it close to my heart? My brother owned a pair. Tim, my younger brother, whom I happen to share a food channel with. If you haven't checked out the food channel, please consider visiting. It's called Eat Again PH. And if you like what you see there, please subscribe. Shameless plug, but the 13, in any case, is a sneaker that I love, precisely because my brother had this pair, and he had so much fun with this pair. He would play in this pair. He would use this, you know, he'd wear it everywhere. And I just love the sneaker, you know. Regardless of whether he owned one or not, it's a great looking sneaker. So originally slated to release in March, they're pushing the release date out to May 2nd. So that's quite far, you know. There were rumors that they were supposed to retro this sneaker in 2017, right? That never happened, obviously. And they were supposed to release in March, but they're not going to release it in April. They're going to release it in May, all right? Nice sneaker, man. I just love the Air Jordan 13 Flints. And there you have it, guys. 3 Air Jordans whose release dates have been delayed. There are obviously many other sneakers whose release dates have been pushed out, but we're just going to focus on 3. We're going to stop at 3. And I guess this kind of gives us an idea of the impact of our global situation here. You know, companies have shut down, factories have been closed down, companies laid off hundreds of people, thousands, I'm sure. And this doesn't just impact sneakers, it impacts business in general. It impacts mobility. It impacts it just impacts lives, and it's more than sneakers here. And I guess the message that I want to drive here is that this is a time to be united, and this is a time to be responsible and obedient, and to be critically responsible to our authorities, and to report anomalies and what have you, because that's how we get better in this situation. Okay, be obedient, and don't spread the virus. Just stay put. If sneakers make you happy, if you really have to buy them online, you know, if you live in an area where your malls are allowed to be open, just don't go. If you have to buy sneakers for one reason or another, just get them online. Okay, so yeah, that's it. I hope everyone stays safe. And as I always say, your value as a person is not measured by what's on your feet. Be kind. That's more important than sneakers. I'll see you next time.